Because I didn't track my expenses, I always ended up using my credit card. And that led to over $20,000 in credit card debt. So enough was enough, and I had to create a system for myself. So I gave myself $400 a month. It's been a month. Here's what I learned. Let's start with the problem. So I actually always used to track my money, but it was on my phone, on the iPhone notes. And that wasn't really sustainable because then I had to kind of get out of that app, open the calculator app, and do the math, go back to the other app and put my remaining money in there. So it was a lot of friction for me to always kind of keep track, and if I spent something, actually go back. Wasn't reliable. So I ended up creating a Google Sheets app, and then I was able to now open up an app and I could do it all in one spot, and it could subtract the money for me. So it's just, I don't have to no longer go from app to app to keep it tracked. Now, another thing you could do is just keep a little notebook with you and do it right, but you'll end up forgetting the notebook at home or in your clothes, or you just forget it somewhere, and that's what happened to me. So that also wasn't really sustainable. We'll talk about that system a little later on and how it helped me. Let's start with the problem. The problem was, like I said, not tracking my expenses. So now I would go to the store, and then I would look, oh, I have like $200 left, and then I would just start buying little things, and little things add up, and then before you know it, I looked and I'm like, that don't look right. I should have like $200. So I ended up using my credit card, and then more importantly, I would be like, you know what, I'm about to get paid next week, so let me just use a credit card now, and then I'll pay it when I get paid. So I always thought of my future money as well, not of the money that I currently have, being able to pay it off then. Impulse buying. Impulse buying was a really big thing, and I think recently now I'm starting to get better. I used to buy figures. We would go to the store, and if I see a figure, I'd be like, oh, well, I have to get it because, I don't know when I'll ever see it again. So it's kind of those FOMO things of like, oh my goodness, there's only one, I haven't seen it, and I really want it, and it's going to be for my collection. And that led to impulse buying. So I really stopped that. Another thing that I stopped, I used to play a trading card game called Digimon, and I would spend literally like thousands of dollars for these cards, and I have my whole collection now sitting in my office. I just cold turkey stopped. I'm like, no, I gotta stop. My justification for that was I was doing a YouTube channel on that. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm eventually gonna get paid for this, and it'll eventually offset, again, leading back to future money. So where I thought in the future, I'm gonna make money that it'll pay me back, and it'll pay me back for what I'm doing now. That didn't happen. Well, I started getting paid from that YouTube, but it was nowhere near remotely of getting thousands of dollars back to buy back the money that I spent on the cards. The biggest thing I think was as well is carrying my credit card with me. So I knew I had a budget of like $300 or $400, but if something ever happened, like when I went to the store and my wife wanted something, or I wanted something that was hundreds of dollars, I'm like, okay, you know what? I can't afford it. Let me just bust out the old credit card and swipe, right? So I think in the long run, I always knew I had the power to buy whatever I wanted, because even though I gave myself a budget, I still carried my credit card. And I knew that no matter what happened, like, yeah, I have my budget, but like, this is like a one-off thing that I can buy because, I'm not going to see it again. It's exclusive. It's rare. It's, buy it. So I justified my actions while using the credit card like that. So now I actually do use a credit card, but I use it only for putting gas in my car, and that's it. And then as soon as so I'll get out of my car, use my credit card, pay with the gas, and then before I drive off, the money that I set aside for the gas, I pay it right then and there, and that's it. And I just keep it moving, and I'll keep the credit card at home. So when I do have to go get gas, I'll take it with me. If I forget it, then I'll just use cash. I actually use my credit card now. So now let's get into the system. Okay, getting my stuff together, and what are we doing here? So I created that Google Sheets, give myself $400, no longer carrying the credit card. And now when I purchase something, I pull out the app and I automatically subtract it there, and it tells me how much money I have left. And since I don't carry my credit card, now I know that if I go over that budget, then I have nothing to back me up. I'm gonna have to go wash some dishes or something if I'm in a restaurant. I started with $400 just to see how I can do it, if it's too much money or if it's too little money, because realistically I will still spend money. Like if I'm taking my wife out on a date, if we are going to go, or me if I'm working, am I gonna get food from restaurants, or or like fast food like Dunkin' Donuts or something like that, which I usually do, which I actually just stopped doing once I got to the end of the 30 days, because I think I ended up with like $3 left, and I realized how much buying breakfast and then buying lunch adds up, right? So if you think about it, if you're gonna get, let's say, Dunkin' or Starbucks, that's at least $10-15 if you're getting a drink and food. $10 a day for breakfast, and then another, let's say, $20 for lunch. That's $30. $30 a day, 30 times 7, that's $210 for 7 days. But I only work, let's say, 5 days, so that is 5 times 30, what is it, 150, $150 a week. So that's $300 for 2 weeks, if I did the math right. I think I did the math right. So now you can see how easily I could go over my budget of $400, and then just slap on a date with my wife there, I'm over. So what I started doing, I started taking my own breakfast, whether it's something simple, just like a trail mix, bananas, Rice Krispie, either muffins, fruits, just things to eat, because I'll get hungry. And if I eat a little bit in breakfast, then it goes away and I'm no longer hungry. For lunch, we started meal prepping. My wife is actually helping me a lot with that. So we're meal prepping, and now I went from spending $300 every 2 weeks on eating out to zero, practically. Sometimes on a one-off, let's say on my Friday, I don't have enough meal preps, then I can go, but that can be like a rewarding treat, so to say, instead of doing it every single day. And I know what you're thinking, like, well, you're still spending money on groceries. Like, yes, but it's so much less, right? So I end up using the $300 for groceries. I put it in a separate fund, so myself, or when my wife goes to get groceries, that's the money that we use. You got to think about it. We were still buying groceries, and then I was still spending $300 and eating out when I was at work, so that's $600. So now we're just spending $300. I wanted to make this fun for myself and be more rewarding of, okay, you know what, if I don't go over the $400 and I stick to, let's say I only spent $300, I have $100 left. What can I do with that money afterwards? I'm not gonna treat myself. We're gonna do something I called like sweep or roll over. We're gonna roll that money over into paying off the credit cards. And if you guys haven't seen these videos, once a month I'm starting to share all my expenses with my checks, how we break down the checks, where all the money is going, all the debts and bills that I'm paying, which is kind of another piece of the Google Sheet that I created. And I'm showing you guys firsthand of how I'm paying off this excruciating debt that I have. So, and it's not just the credit cards. Credit cards is really the main driving point that is eating away at us because of the interest. So for example, on a 10K credit card, you're gonna get charged about $250 to $300 a month that you're not paying it down if you're keeping that outstanding balance. So it adds up pretty quick. So that is my incentive with the leftover money, is just rolling it over to credit card debt. So now I'm kind of fast tracking paying off the debt on top of what I'm doing to pay off that debt. So now with that system, how did I adjust? I kind of already talked about it with eating out less and prepping more at home. So now at nighttime, I just prep my little things. I'll buy a big bag of chips because I love chips. And every night I'll fill in a little bit in a sandwich bag. So now I have like my own little bag of chips instead of going out every day and spending $5 for a bag of chips. Not that I did, but pack my Rice Krispie, my banana, fill up my water bottle, and have that ready. And then in the morning when I wake up, I pack it all in, make sure I have everything, grab my lunch from the fridge, pack that, pack a spoon, fork, whatever I need, and then off I go. What I like for my lunch, we always think about, okay, well, what do you want to eat today? Oh, let's go here. No, I don't want to go there. Let's go over there. This also brought me a peace of mind in which I can just say, let's go to lunch. Okay. And I already have my lunch packed. I don't have to worry about where I want to go. Am I craving this? Am I craving that? It's kind of like, my lunch is here. I'm going to eat this, and that's it. So it's also pretty relieving in that sense. My biggest takeaway is that there's a way to do everything. So what I mean by that is there's a way for you to track your money I just needed to find a better way for me to track my money so that I can actually do it. The more friction I had, and I've realized this with myself, is the harder it is to do something. What I mean by that is the more obstacles that are in my way to achieve something, even if it's like if I want to work out, the less obstacles I can put for myself. So like, I have my gym now in the basement as opposed to driving 10-20 minutes away. The less friction I create for myself, the more I'm gonna do it. And that's kind of what the system did for me. I just need to open my phone, go to the app, and then just put in how much money, press enter, calculates it, lets me know how much money I have left over, and then I could put it away. That's it. Because of that, I have been able to be consistent through, and it's worked. The link is in my bio if you guys want to check out that Google Sheet, but you don't need it. You could just use a piece of paper if you want. But if you want to have less friction, less obstacles in you actually doing it, you can check that out. If this video was helpful, don't forget to subscribe and like it so you guys could see more videos like this. And I know you guys actually enjoy it. I'll see you guys in the next video.